Second is as a non-renewable natural resources and has always been the main source of income for the people of Bangka Belitung until now. It is the time to move on to other sectors, such as rubber from the plantation sector. Integration testing in the study is a test of the analysis model regarding the spurious regression problem. And the last, we will make the projection of tin and rubber production in Bangka Belitung Island until 2025 and their effect of environment as a leading commodities. Okay, we know that tin production in Bangka Belitung Island is not environmental, is not the friendly environment. So we can hope that rubber production in Bangka Belitung can be the leading commodities. Yeah, can be leading commodities. Okay, we will see the experimental procedure. Okay, this is the time series data that we use in our research. We can using the total tin production by ton and total rubber production by ton. We start from the 2003 until 2015. From the first step, step, we can do the stationarity test by the EDF test or augmented Dickey Fuller test. Then we can determine the optimal leg length, Granger causality test, co-integration test with the Johansson approach, and the second and the last step is the we can do the projection. Okay. Okay, this is the keyword of our research. If the variable used in the study have a co-integration relationship, then this research can be continued by testing the VECM or factor error correction model. We can see that because data is not stationary at the level, but it's stationary at the same level of differentiation, and there is a linear combination between the variable used. On the other hand, if the risk variable don't have causal relationship, the test will continue using the factor autoregressive or VAR model. Okay, this is the result. The first is data stationarity test by EDF or augmented Dickey Fuller test. By the red line, this is the rubber production in Bangka Belitung Island. Blue line is the tin production. Okay, we can see this data is not stationary, but data is have a trend. Okay, so we make the worst difference because data is not stationary at the level. Next, this is the optimum lag determination. The data we can see the optimum lag value is in the worst leg with the smallest AIC, SIC, and HG value among other leg values. Okay, at the worst leg, this is okay. And then we can do the Granger causality test to see that the co-integration based on the Granger causality test, no causal relationship was found between the two variables, between the amount of tin and rubber production. But it has one-way relationship. Where is the one-way relationship? This is in rubber doesn't Granger cause tin because the probability value is less than the level of alpha 5%. The probability by rubber doesn't Granger cause tin is 0.0187. This is less than the alpha. So this research have a one-way relationship. Okay, Granger causality test, and then we can do the co-integration test. Based on the result of this test, this is, yeah, it can be seen that the data used in study doesn't have a co-integration relationship. Okay, we can remember that keyword of our of my paper, it can be seen by the value of the trace statistic and max eigenstatistic. Trace statistic and max eigenstatistic. Each of them is smaller than the critical value at 5% level. The probability. You can see the probability values. So this data don't have a co-integration relationship. If the data don't have a co-integration relationship, we can continue by VAR differentiation form or factor autoregression. Now, this is the VAR estimation. This is the equation of rubber and this is the equation of tin. And the last step is the projection. The red line is the projection of rubber. The blue line is projection of tin. This is yours, and this is the amount of tin and rubber projection. It can be seen that the projection results from the amount of rubber production significantly increased when compared to the projection result of tin, which also increased, but in total the amount produced wasn't as much as the amount of rubber production. Certainly, the result of this projection are in line with the local government goals. It's not to rely on the mining sector as the community income sector. This is also reinforced by the mining sector as one of the non-renewable natural resources, which cannot always be used as the main source of income for the local community, and of course, will harm the environment from mining activities carried out. Okay, this is the conclusion of our research. The first is there is no causal relationship between the two variables, the amount of tin and the amount of rubber production. And the second is we can continue by VAR differentiation form because there is no co-integration relationship. The third, the result of projection value as the last step in this study has the result that the amount of rubber production has significantly increased than the amount of tin production. There is difference of 11.67% from the ratio of the amount of rubber and tin produced. This result can be used as a reference for the local government to take action to diversify the community income sector. So, it doesn't only source from one sector income, especially the mining sector, which is not very environmental friendly, and also as one of the non-renewable natural resources. Through the result of this research, the community immediately goes to the plantation sector, for example, rubber plantation, so that the negative impact caused by the mining sector can be immediately minimized. Okay, I think it's enough for today. Thank you for your attention, everybody. Good afternoon and wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Okay, thank you for the presentation. If the participant or presenter have any question, please mention in the chat room for the first presenter. Maybe I have give you 2 minutes before we next move to the second presenter. Okay, we to the next presenter. I would welcome the author Eris Dia Mostikarini, Gigi Ibnu Prayoga, Ratna Santi, and Nur Putri Ekasari to present the slide with the title Advanced Seal Trial of F7, Upland Rice Line with the Lodging Resistance in Bangka Regency, Bangka Belitung Island Province, Indonesia. Please present your work.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you for moderator. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Eris Dia Mustikarini from UBB. I want presentation my research. The title of my research is Advanced Seal Trial of Filial 7 Upland Rice Line with Longing Resistance in Bangka Regency, Bangka Belitung Island Province, Indonesia. I am first author and more author Gigi Ibnu Prayoga, Ratna Santi, and Nur Putri Ekasari. Introduction. Bangka local rice have plant heights of more than 100 centimeters. The interest of rice production from a variety of rice plants that have resistance to longing and tolerant to ulti-soil soil. Crossing between Bangka upland local rice with national variety has been done and obtains phylloxera upland rice line. Thus, phylloxera line need to be continuous to advance seal trial to see the potential seal of rice line. Strength of the research from hybridization. Hybridization of local rice with national variety. History of lines. Once exploration. Then elders is Balo in Pago 8, Banyuasin, and PBM UBB 1. Next, after that, we do hybridization. Selection lines with pedigree selection. Selection had been made on filial 1 until filial 5, and we get 10 baseline. Preliminary seal trial of the red rice filial 6 line with longing resistance. Research purpose. In this research, an advanced yield trial aim to get high yield line with longing resistance. Research method. Time the research November 2020 until May 2021. Research was held in until site of experimental and research station, Universitas Bangka Belitung Island Province. Experiment methods. The research used experiment methods with randomized block design or RBD with 3 replications. The treatment of the research with 10 genotypes, 5 upland rice lines, and 5 X variety is Danau Gaung, Impago 8, Impago 12, Rindang, and Situ Pategang. Character, the observation of character, plant heights, flag left legs, productive Tyler number, flowering eggs, panicle legs, harvest eggs, number of violet green, yield per plot, number of grain per panicle, weight of 1,000 sheet. Analyze the result with the Fisher test or ANOVA at alpha 5% and less significant increase or LSI test. The results show that in all lines show a very significant difference alpha 1% on all parameters except for the productive Taylor number which had a significant difference alpha 5%. Table 2, result of LSI test. Table 2 showed the race line that had a shortest plan height was 23A, 56, 22, 2005, which is the plan height 5 lines so shorter than the check variety. The plan height of lines that's below to the moderate category. The plan height is increased by the genetic factor of a cultivar. There were 3 lines had a longer flag life compared to the Impago 8 variety. The line which has the most productive Taylor number was 23A, 56, 22, 2005. The high per plot was found is in the 23A, 56, 22, 2005 line. These yields were higher than the check variety of Danogaum and Rindang. This is a morphology of rice line and the check variety. This is the shape of rice and color sheet of rice. 1 line with red color sheet and 4 line with white color sheet. Conclusion. The yield of the filial 7 line from a cross between local accession and varieties national were around 9 until 12 kilogram per plot, or the equivalent of 4 until 6 ton per hectare. The recommended filial 7 line as candidate for superior variety with longing resistance were 23A, 56, 22, 2005 line for red rice types and 23F, 04, 10, 18 line for white rice type. We would like to thank to Direktorat Pendidikan Tinggi, Dikti, funding for the research. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you, Mrs. Eris Dia Mustikarini, for the insightful presentation. Now we have the question and answer session. If any question, you can mention in the chat room or just raise hand directly. Okay, is there any question? We have 5 minutes. Okay, maybe there's no question, Mrs. Erisdia Mustikarini. Maybe we can move to the next presenter. Thank you for your presentation. We have author Fitriani, Indar Chaira Gunadin, Ansar Suyuti, and Agus Siswanto to present the slide with the title Dynamic Stability Improvement with Integrated Power Plant Scheduling Method based on Moment of Inertia. Okay, please present your work.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh and good afternoon. Thank you for the opportunity. Introduce, my name is Fitriani from Hasanuddin University. As for I will present namely dynamic stability improvement with integrated power plant scheduling method based on moment of inertia. Outline, introduction, proposed method, simulation result, and conclusion. System stability. In this modern era, the human need for electrical energy is very important and cannot be separated from daily life. It is necessary to maintain the stability of a system. To maintain the stability of a system, it is necessary to strive for synchronous machine to be in synchronous condition. Instability occurs when a disturbance causes a persistent imbalance between the opposing forces. This research is focused on critical clearing time, or CCT, analysis studies to improve dynamic stability in the IEEE 14 bus system by looking at the rotor angle parameters at each generator with disturbance that occurs on a bus with the index generator scheduling method. The method used in this study is the method of rescheduling the generator operation to improve the stability of the system based on the moment of inertia each generator. The IEEE 14 bus system was used as the test case in the study shown in figures 1 and 2, where figures 1 IEEE 14 bus system normal condition and figures 2 IEEE 14 bus system with fall and wind turbine. The procedures for this research are 1. Bus, generator, transmission, and load data collection. 2. Making single-line diagram of IEEE 14 bus system. 3. Simulation and data processing. Edit interference and wind turbine. Power flow study. 6. Rotor angle stability analysis. Recording critical clearing time. Scheduling with index value. Changing the active power of the power plant. And 10. Comparing CCT value before and after rescheduling. Simulation and data processing. In this simulation, several cases are carried out, such as simulation of rotor angle stability during normal conditions. When the wind turbine is integrated when a disturbance occurs, and when a disturbance occurs after rescheduling the generator based on the moment of inertia. To see the value of the IEEE 14 bus system master angle before and after the wind turbine integration is shown in figures 3 and 4. In the simulation of figure 3, the stability of the rotor angle when under normal conditions has not been obtained the critical clearing time value because at this time there has not been a disturbance. Under normal conditions, the graph of the rotor angle is still synchronous or stable, or there are no generators that are out of sync. While in figure 4, when the wind turbine is integrated, the rotor angle value is different from normal conditions, but the rotor angle value is still in a synchronous or stable condition. Next, in figure 5, it can be seen that the system remains stable even though it is transiently stable when the generator is isolated when a disturbance occurs, which results in a change in the rotor angle between the generators, but is not too significant because with a disturbance duration of 0.6 seconds, the system is stable again. The system is said to be stable because no generator loses synchronization during the disturbance until it reaches a critical disconnection time. However, if the disturbance is decided by the CB, twice exceeds the critical time for the fourth disconnection, the CB twice is 0.61 seconds. It can be seen solved the second graph in figure 6 that the system becomes unstable. This instability is characterized by a very significant change in the rotor angle, which causes the generator to lose its synchronization. Especially the generator's wave is focused close to the fault location. The generators that experience out of sync is generators 2, so that the system looks unstable at 0.61 seconds and the CCT value is 0.8 seconds. Figure 2 show a graph of the response of the rotor angle when a short circuit occurs after rescheduling the generators based on the magnitude of the moment of inertia. Disruption time has given 0.18 seconds. It can be seen in the graph that the generation experience condition leading to unstable or out of synchron is generator 3. Then in figure 8, it can be seen that the system is out of sync with a disturbance duration of 0.19 seconds and the critical clearing time value is 0.38 seconds. Next, table 1 comparison of CCT before and after rescheduling. Based on the simulation result, it turned out that not all buses in the system have or can be searched for a critical clearing time. Buses 6, 11, 12, 13, and 14 have no critical disconnection time. This indicates that the breakdown of the fault includes the critical time of disconnection for the CB. From the CB to the fault on the 5 buses will not affect the stability of the system. But for bus 8, which is also a bus of one of the generators whose rotor angle is also a reference for stability. It turns out that it does not have a disconnection time because as soon as there is disturbance and the CB immediately trips, the system immediately becomes unstable. Conclusion. From several fault points that are simulated in the IEEE 14 bus system, there is a critical clearing time that is not found, which means the system remains stable up to 5 seconds of CB opening. The duration of the disturbance affects the stability of the rotor angle of our generator. The longer the disturbance, it will make the rotor angle an unstable condition, and this has an impact on the system imbalance. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Fitriani, for the insightful presentation. Now we have in the session question and answer. Is there any question for the other presenter? For the Ms. Fitriani? Okay, I think you don't have any question for the other presenter. Thank you for your great presentation. Now we move to the fourth presentation by author Andi Muhammad Ilyas Ansari Suyuti. Benar ya? Oh, Indar Chera Gunadin and Sri Mawar Said to present the slide with the title Real-Time Voltage Stability Monitoring Models of Wind Power Plant Penetration in Electrical Power System Network. Please present your work.
Thank you. Oke, bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Good day, ladies and gentlemen. I would like to say thank you for your time to present in my presentation. And before I present the result, our research, I will introduce my research team. I'm Andi Muhammad Ilyas. The first member, Mr. Ansar Suyuti. The second member, Mr. Indar Heragunadin. And the third member, Mrs. Sri Mawar Said. Ladies and gentlemen, now I will present my research with title Real-Time Voltage Stability Monitoring Model of Wind Power Plant Penetration in Electrical Power System Network. Introduction. The intermittent output of wind power plants can affect the stability of the power grid. So real-time monitoring model is needed. This study uses data from the Southern Sulawesi network, which is interconnected with wind power plant in real time. And the IEEE TT bus data is used as a method validation. And basic theory, stability, a voltage stability is the ability for electrical network system to maintain its voltage value under normal condition or after disturbance occurs. A good electric power system is a power system that can serve consumer constantly, continuously with a constant voltage and frequency. Voltage and frequency fluctuation that occurs must be within the permissible tolerance limit, so that consumer electrical equipment can work properly and safely. The basic theory about stability tools, there are varieties of tools for assessing whether a system is voltage stability or not, and how close the system is to instability. These tools are called voltage stability. These indicate have a system planner and operators to know the condition of voltage stability in power system. They indicate how close the system is to voltage collapse or instability. The indicator should be simple, easy to implement, and computational and expensive. The indicate expose the critical bus of a power system and the stability condition, and each line connected between two buses in an interconnected network. It is from Kumarsmani and Raman Reddy, 2011, and Matter et al. 2015. A method. In this research, the analytical method used to calculate the voltage stability monitoring on the load flow of social bar system are modified into particle swarms and new line stability and fast voltage stability. Modified input particle swarm we are used to calculate the optimal power flow, and new line stability we are used to calculate the voltage stability. Result. Before the model is used on the social bar system data, it is first tested using IEEE TT bus data with derived. It is the derived. The test result of the new voltage stability method used on the IEEE TT bus data show that the stability index is less than 1 or below the voltage limit criteria standard of 0.95 VU, so that it can be used in existing real system. result for CDRAP power frame. Stability index of real-time wind power frame injection to susceptible network. The wind power frame does not affect the voltage drop in the power flow of the susceptible network. The graph of the stability index of the short Sulawesi network, which is injected with the real power of the wind power frame, can be seen as below. It is the graphic and the result real-time analysis use new voltage stability. The result of the new voltage stability and on the short Sulawesi network, they are injected with a real-time wind power frame are at a stable value, which is below 0.55 U, or does not affect the stability of the system. So the wind power frame in South Sulawesi not affect to a conventional system. Conclusion. The result of the analysis on the South Sulawesi network, which is interconnected with the wind power frame in real time, a summary as follows. The result of the stability index on the IEEE bar as data are less than 1 or are at the standard of stable criteria, namely 0.95 U. 2. The result of the stability index of the Sulawesi network is line number 4 or 9 from Latupa to Poso has the highest value of 0.0473. The second is line number 18 from Bosoa to Tello is 0.0390. And third is line number 24 from Tello 30 kilovolt to Bosoa is 0.0221. The other bus voltage have lower value. So it can be concluded that the network is South Sulawesi is stable and intermittent wind power has not effect on voltage stability. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you, Mr. Andi Muhammad Ilyas, for your insightful presentation. Is there any question to the Mr. Andi from the other participant? Okay, if there is no question to the Mr. Andi, we can move to the next presenter. I would like to invite authors Eva Utami, Robi Gus Mahardika, Anggreni, and Dwi Rosalina to present the title Chlorophyll, a concentration of phytoplankton in estuary mangrove Pulau Bangka Tengah, Indonesia. Okay, please present your work.
Thank you. Good afternoon, everybody. And thank you to moderator Mbak Nur Hadini who giving me time for presenting my our research, which entitled Chlorophyll A concentration of phytoplankton in estuary mangrove Pulau Bangka Tengah, Indonesia. And my name is Eva Utami as a first author, and I did this research with my friends, my colleague, Pak Robi Gus Mahardika from Universitas Bangka Belitung, Bu Anggraini from Universitas Bangka Belitung also, and Bu Dwi Rosalina from Politeknik Kelautan dan Perikanan Bone, Indonesia. I am also from Universitas Bangka Belitung. For introduction, that Bangka Belitung province is the province in one of the province in Indonesia, and it's the land size is about 16,000 kilometer per square, and size of waters is about 65 kilometer per square. And comparing between land and size of water, the water percent of water is about 79%. And this water, including the Kurau, which is the side study of my research. The Kurau is located southern part of Bangka Island and bordered by Natuna Sea to the north. And I do believe that some of the researchers here are common with the side of Kurau Island, Kurau waters, and the Kurau estuary water is diluted by the fresh water flowing from Kurau rivers. This is Bangka Belitung province, and Kurau is about here. And also Munjang stream, the flowing from Munjang stream waters. And the mixing between fresh water and the marine water provide high level of nutrients in the water column itself, and making the estuary Kurau waters among the richest natural habitat in the environment area. And that area is habitat for some of fish, some of mud crab, and other animal, including reptile. And I choose chlorophyll A because chlorophyll is essential to the existence of phytoplankton. Phytoplankton is a small microscopic organism that can be used as an indicator organism for the health of a particular body of water. Monitoring of chlorophyll air level is a direct way to tracking algae growth and analyzing of algae growth, analyzing of the abundance of algae growth. We can measure the water quality of in this area. This is the objective of my research. This study was to analyze chlorophyll A, concentration of phytoplankton in mangrove estuary area in Pulau Bangka Tengah, Indonesia. And then this is a description of my site area study. Area study is about here. Carried out in mangrove area, specifically in Kuro Mangrove Bangka Tengah, Indonesia. This is area has this area is has a function as fishing ground, spawning ground, and feeding ground for some species of fish and crab and reptile. The site research was divided into 4 research stations, which are mouth of Kurau River, mangrove area, and then mouth of Munjang Mangrove, and then a transition zone between estuary and maritime environment. Material and methods of my research is seawater was taken from estuary area, and then water samples were collected by placing in 1.5 liter dark bottle, because the dark bottle need to be carried out because chlorophyll A is sensitive with the light. And the third method is water were collected 10 centimeter below surface water, and then immediately incubated in cool box before transported. And then analyze them in the laboratory. The data analyzing using a spectrometer method, or usually we call it acetone method. This method is for measuring the concentration of chlorophyll A in phytoplankton. And then beside chlorophyll A, we collect data of the characteristic of physico-chemical seawater parameters, and we collected the parameters waters in all research stations. And this is the result of our study. The concentration of chlorophyll A in fourth study area is fluctuated. The location in mouth of River Kurau is about 0.0047 milligram per liter, and in transition zone between estuary and marine is about 0.117 milligram liter, and in mangrove area is about 0.00587 milligram per liter. In Mount Munjang stream is about 117 milligram per liter, and this concentration based on Legendary 1983 is categorized as a low concentration because the concentration is less than 0.07 milligram per liter. This low concentration or this low red concentration is I assume that because of the very turbid water in that area. So the clarity water is very low. It's about 0.21 meters. And this is the the parameters of water that we measure, which are temperature of water, of course, is about 29.5 degrees Celsius, and water clarity is about 0.21 meters, and our potential hydrogen is about 6.75 and salinity is about 15 part per thousand, and sea current about 0.075 meter per second, and phosphate is about 0.75 milligram per liter. And the conclusion is the concentration of chlorophyll A in all the sites of the study research considered as a low rate chlorophyll A concentration, since lack of light penetration in those areas. And the second conclusion that all the parameters of physicochemical seawater in estuary is considered as a normal parameter waters in the area study research, but the water clarity is only 0.21 meters. And this is my references, and this is our study research references. And I would like to thank you to USAID Shara. We gratefully acknowledge the support from USAID through the Shara program, Center for Development of Sustainable Region, or CDSR, in year 2017 until 2021. CDSR is led by Center for Energy Studies, Universitas Gadjah Mada, who give us opportunity to did this research. Thank you, and this is some of photo of my. Oh, sorry. This is a photo of documentation of our research. Thank you, Mbak Nur Hadini.
Okay, thank you for the Ms. Eva Utami for insightful presentation. Is there any question for the research? Okay, I think there is no question for the Miss Eva Utami, and we can move for the other presenter. Thank you. Okay, for the next presenter, I would like to invite the authors, Mu'alimah Hudatwi, Eva Utami, Muhammad Agung Nugraha, Irma Akhirianti, Aditya Pamungkas, and Ia Shari, with title Diversity of Benthic Organism on Artificial Reef Structure. Okay, please present your work.
Thank you, Ms. Nurhadini, but I couldn't share screen while the other participant is still sharing their screen.
I'm sorry. Yeah.
Thank you, Mrs. Eva.
Yeah. Sorry.
Okay, good afternoon, everyone. So I would like to present our research result with the title of Diversity of Benthic Organisms on Artificial Reef Structures. And it was conducted by some researchers, me, Muhammad Hudatwi, and then Indra Ambadika Syari, Eva Utami, Muhammad Agung Nugraha, Irma Akhrianti, and also Aditya Pamungkas. So the background of this research is like, as we know that, so ideally, for the coral reef ecosystems, like the healthy coral reef ecosystem, they will support the biodiversity, the biodiversity and also the sustainable ecosystems. So not only for the coral reef ecosystem, but also they will support the seagrass and also the land ecosystem such as mangrove ecosystems. But then, like in fact, there are some anthropogenic activity that will disturb or damage the coral reef ecosystems. So from the first pictures, as we can see, it's the damage result from the bombing activity. And the second pictures down here is the result of the sedimentation. So from the high sedimentation from the land and also from the shoreline area. And also from those destructive activities, it will lead to coral mortality that also will lead the coral reef ecosystems. And then the coral reef ecosystem in Bangka Belitung highly affected by thin mining activities through sedimentation. So the first picture here is the example of the picture that we took from the underwater pictures. So we can see that some of the artificial reef structure that we've sunk in the water is already covered by sedimentation and also the turf algae. And the second picture here is also like we were just changing the new tiles. This is the new one, and then this is the old one. This one is after 2 years, and it was also covered with high sedimentation, and also some algae, macroalgae is also they live happily. They overgrow the area. And this one is the structure of the artificial reef that was deployed. And then the sediment particle will cover the coral polyp and prevent photosynthesis activity that will lead to coral mortality. And one of the alternatives to restore the coral reef ecosystem is artificial reef structures as an attachment hard surfaces for coral and also all other benthic organisms. So those these 5 pictures So these 5 pictures is not make pictures, and I took these pictures as an example of artificial risk structure that was conducted from other researchers in other countries. But this one is the bioreactivity. They grow coral, the hard skeletal coral through the electricities. And then these 2 pictures down below is the method of artificial reef structure that we've done in Putri Islands. And then the goal of this artificial reefs is generally to provide a stable growing area for corals and also habitat for fishes and all the other benthic organisms on a natural reef. And for the research and method, we did the research in Putri Island in Bangka region. And the artificial reef was made from the iron frame in a half ball shape with the size of 2 times 2 times 1.4 meters. And each artificial reef has 8 sinkers that made from concrete cement on each side to keep it in balance. And the artificial reef was drowned in June 2018, and then the monitoring was taken in February 2020. The analysis data of the benthic community structure, we did the calculation of the mean percentage cover of each benthic category within each of the 10 frames. So this substrate identity that occupied the most area within each frames was recorded for each 3 for 3 major categories: tonic corals, other sessile organisms, and also non-living substrate. And other sessile organisms were classified into 5 groups: gorgonians, sponges, sea anemones, zoanthids, crinoids, hydroids, and also bryozoans. And this is the result. So after 2 years deployment, some benthic organism colonized the artificial reef. And here are some pictures of benthic organism that attach or live in the iron frames of the reef structures. The first picture here is this one is the sponges. So they are colonizing the iron frame. And second one is the crinoidea. And also the third one is also crinoids. And the fourth one is tunicate or C squared. And the fifth picture here is the gorgonian. And also the last picture here is the natural growth of the hard corals. And here are the complete taxa of marine benthic organism found in 10 iron frames of artificial reef structure. So the hard coral is only Proteopora domicornis. Gorgonian is Melitaidae, and then soft coral is only Neptea. There are 5 sponges, 1 bivalve, 1 gastropod, 1 ascidian, 1 crinoid, 1 hydroid, and also 1 bryozoa. The artificial reef structure was overgrown by some groups of marine invertebrates, such as hard coral, soft coral, gorgonian, mollusk, sponge, ascidian, crinoid, hydroids, and also bryozoa. The density of benthic organisms attached in artificial reef structure was so this is the graphic of the density of benthic organisms. We couldn't measure we didn't measure the area, the coverage area of the benthic organism, but we only we did only the calculation of the numbers, how many benthic organisms, but we didn't measure the coverage area. So the hard coral dominates the 10 iron structure forms, while the coral cover in the surrounding area was dominated by massive coral like Porretites and also branching corals. Other fast-growing vertebrates groups are sponge, crinoid, bryozoa with 2 colonies per meter square, The following organisms play an important role in elevating the structural complexity and also make it suitable for the coral settlement. The succession and colonization of coral are faster than other vertebrate groups, such as sponge, crinoid, bryozoa, turf algae, and sediment particles appear to become abundant. Different benthic colonization on different reef structures may be affected by depth, turbidity, geological area, structural complexity of the reef. In conclusion, future research is required, especially on the process of competition in sessile space occupiers, other than sclerectinian corals, for example, sea anemone, zoantid, ascidian, sponge, and other vertebrate fauna. The future research will also advantage from interdisciplinary approach that include both macro and microscopic perspective to reveal the complexity of competitive process on coral reefs. Thank you, and let's all preserve the coral reef ecosystem. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Mualimah Hudadri, for the insightful presentation. Now we in the question and answer session. Is there any question for their work or the presentation? Okay, maybe there is no question, Ms. Mualimah. Thank you for your presentation. We can move to the next presenter. I would like to invite the authors Angki Puspawan, Nurul Iman Supardi, Agus Wandi, and Hotman Rudianto Samosir with title Experimental Study on the Effect of Bioethanol Mixture of the Raw Coconut Rumi, Cocos nucifera, with Pertamax RON 92 and Pertalite RON 90, fuel on the performance of a gasoline motors. Okay, please present your work. Okay, is there any represent this 64 ID? Okay, because there's no response for the presenter, I will move to the next presenter. I will like to invite the author Armi Susandi, Aristio Wijaya, Wahyu Setio Kuntoro, Irfan Faisal, Faril Gifari Kertabudi, and Indriyanti Nurdin, with title Ecosystem Resilience Index Analysis on the Marine Ecological Carrying Capacity, MECC, Evaluation Index for Sustainable Coastal Development in Nunukan District, North Kalimantan.
Okay, thank you, ma'am. My voice is clear, yeah?
Okay, clear. Please present your work.
Okay, a moment. Okay, thank you for the opportunity. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry, wrong click. Okay. My name is Aristia Radinwijaya, and I'm from ITB, and on behalf of Dr. Armi Susandi, as our principal investigator, I would like today to present it about our paper, our research in the ecological resilience capacity index analysis in Nunukan District, Kalimantan. Okay. Okay, here's our outline. Yeah, there's introduction, methodology, results, and conclusions. And in introduction, here we talk about sustainability. In the sustainability, we talk about how to protect the ocean, how to protect the marine area, but how whether the protect and but we could giving the income for Indonesia for our economic activities, and we know that in Indonesia we have a great ocean, we great a marine area, and which is reaching the 70,000 trillion rupiah and dominated by the marine capture fishery sectors. And we know that Indonesia may still continue to increase from year to year with potential because year on year we have 12.54 million tons. However, the potential can only be realized up to 70%. And we know the potential has not been able to be utilized and managed optimally because we know that we have limited access to information, infrastructure, human resources, and also more about weather condition as a result of climate change. And then we know that the unprecedented growth in economic activities relating to ocean currently in last year, in 2020, we know that there is a need for sustainable concept, which is we know that socio-economic development can occur without environmental degradation or inequality is widely recognized. This is from Bennett et al. 2019. And then the society must prepare for an even more disturbing situation, which is we know that the future caused by climate change, we can have more decrease in fisheries and etc. And also the integrated ocean management as the maintain and future develop the sector-based management required for effective management of the ocean industries. This is from Anderson et al. And here's we know that ecosystem could support to build a sustainable in this mining, petroleum, tourism, aquaculture, renewable energy, shipping, and recreation. Or we know that tourism. And here, in the IOM, or we know that integrated ocean management in the form of marine ecological capacity, we try to make some bold ideas to preserve the long-term health and resilience of marine ecosystem, while we develop an integrated and adaptive framework for IOM, requested forming partnership between public authorities and business, civil societies, academia, and financial sectors. This is from Brinter et al. The MCC, we present an important tools that implements IOM for addressing multiple uses while considering the impact of climate change and improving the resilience of marine ecosystem. Okay, here's the methodology. We try to develop a carrying capacity concept. The carrying capacity is a ecological concept, which is it's assumed there's a limited number of individuals who can support by given consumption, fully provide that the surrounding information doesn't experience degradation. So we keep the environment not to have degradation, but we could still support our economic activity that reach our need. And here's the MCC, the marine ecological carrying capacity, we explicitly aim to describe how the relationship between the community as supporting entity carrying object, here is it, and the environment as support as the carrier itself to ensure the sustainability. The MCC consists of two components, namely the carrying object component, the human activity, and the carrier resistant component, the ecological resilience. And here's the data and method. Why we choose the non-nuclear regency. We know that the non-nuclear regency, we have SKPT, which is marine and capture fishery centers in front of our Indonesia, the 3T area, and they're established by Ministry of Maritime Affairs, Fisheries and Fisheries, and we use the data as an indicator from the MCC that you have seen before for the non-nuclear regency from 2015 to 2019, which is obtained from ICOM, and our data is this for first data, the satellite imagery. And the method itself in here, we try to develop the part, we try to highlight the part that carriers ecological resilience, DRI, the resilience indicator in nuclear regency, which is there's an element of the sub-element is physical environmental, the seawater level, currency, sea surface temperature, biological environmental, the volume of water in soil layer, leaf area index, and last, the ecological risk, chlorophyll A. And here's the flow chart for the carrier index calculation, DRI. Here's the start, input, indicators, here's the indicators, the processes, the standardizing, determining, calculating, and etc. And here's the result. Further simply, we see that in the carrier resilient index, we found that there's, in 2015, we have the data itself is 0.24, and there's a decrease in 2016, and the following years there's going to trend to go up, and we found that in the 2016, between 2015 and 2016, we found that there's an increase in chlorophyll A because of that, and the seawater level there's increase in the waters. Then because of that, we found that more what we say that there's you know that if the chlorophyll are increasing, which is maybe we see that there's no fish out there because there's not the predator to the chlorophyll are the plankton, but there's another cause, which is there's a polluted area over that increase the chlorophyll out there, and because of that we need to more we can trace back for the data itself, so which one the affected the area. And here we see we found that R6 as the component, which is has decreased because there's we know there's an effect of the El Nino phenomenon that occurred in 2018 also affected the change in other physical parameters. And here's the conclusion. We know that the value of RI decreased by 50% in 2000 due to increase in chlorophyll A, which is affected by the fisheries. And also we know that in ecological resilience, the value of the chlorophyll A and sea level water level and sea surface is there's increase, which is affected the resilience index in the area. And lastly, the decrease in the value of the concentration due to El Nino phenomenon become the main factor in the increased overall RI index value in the nuclear regency. I think that's all for me. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for your insightful presentation, Mr. Aristio Wijaya. Is there any question for their work or the research? to the other presenter? Okay, we wait 1 minute, yeah.
Okay.
Okay, I think there is no question. Thank you again for your presentation, Mr.
Thank you.
Aristia Wijaya.
Yeah.
Okay, we can move to the next presenter. I would like to invite the authors, Timbul Briski, Delita Ega Andini, and Gus Karnali, with the title Review of the Distribution of Granite Using Geomagnetic Methods at Bukit Nunggal, Air Mesu Village, Pangkalan Baru Subdistrict, Bangka District, Bangka Tengah District. Okay, please present your work.
Excuse me, can you listen to my voice?
Yes, clear.
I will share my screen now. Good afternoon, everyone, and I'm Nur Hadini as the moderator. Today, I will show you my result and of our team about review of the distribution of granite using geomagnetic methods at Bukit Nunggal Air Mesu Village, Pangkalan Baru Subdistrict, Bangka Tengah District. First, granite stone is one of the igneous rock with excited properties which form from magma that cool down slowly under the Earth's surface, and because it is formed under the Earth's surface, granite stone is categorized into plutonic igneous rock. As we know, granite stones is one of many important materials that useful for building materials, and in this era, as demand for building materials increase, mining activity will also increase to keep up the supplies for the demand. So, with that in mind, we need to do some exploration in line with the idea of environmental friendly and will not disrupt nearby settlement around the granite stone resources. This research is conducted to know the distribution of materials, especially granite, to obtain area which can be used to mine with environmental friendly and safe for nearby settlement. And in this research, geomagnetic data acquisition is conducted using looping method. Looping method is a method using one of mobile precision particle magnetometers, or you can say it as PPM. And in this method, it is done by base-to-base manner, which means acquisition is started from point 0, then ended at the same point at the end of the acquisition time. As you can see on the screen, we can see there are green lines, which are various dots that represent the acquisition location. In this research, acquisition is done by two teams, which are operator teams and helper teams. Helper teams are the one who look for the route with the work plan maps and the existing coordinate, and the operator team is the one who operate the PPM device so that we can obtain geomagnetic data and we can use that data to show various colors of that represents various geomagnetic values. Data obtained from the acquisition time then will be corrected as many as possible to remove every disturbance that happen in the research area, such as the international geomagnetic reference field value, or you can say it as IGRF, inclination value that happening in the research area, and every values that mentioned earlier can be obtained from various official websites such as geomag.bgs.ac.uk. After the data correction is done, we can obtain a pure geomagnetic data that usually referred as total magnetic index, or TMI. This TMI then will be filtered down step by step to obtain a maps that I mentioned earlier, which show various color representing various geomagnetic values. Different geomagnetic values represent different kind of materials. Those granite stones may determine from its geomagnetic values. This research is located on Bukit Nunggal and has research area of 144.98 hectares and connected into different ways of acquisition. One is using fixed point that determined by working plan map, and another one is using random point. And both way of acquisition have some acquisition distance, which around 10 meters. Afterward, I will show you our result. From the picture on the screen, you can see that there are various colors which represents various materials that have different magnetic properties. Local geomagnetic map produce three different color zones. Zone number 1 is denoted as sandstone in light blue to green region with moderate susceptibility or moderate geomagnetic values around 0 to 20 nanotesla. Zone number 2 from 250 nanotesla due to and hornblende minerals. As you can see on the left side of the map, there are area or region with purple color. In this area, purple color showed because there are some exposed granite which make disturbance in the reading and causing the data to be spiked. And based on the discovered outcrop in my research area, the zone which has granite resource is suspected located at yellow to red zone and purple zone with high susceptibility range for 21 to 50 nanotesla due to the following materials such as minerals to for example iron, quartz, and hornblende. And another result is the suspected resource distribution direction. As you can see, we already conclude that the suspected area for granite stones is located in the area with color of yellow, red, and purple. And in this part, we are concluding where should mining activity that may happen in the future to avoid harmful activities that may harm nearby human settlement and make it more sustainable. So based on pictures on the screen and conclusion obtained from previous part, distribution of area of granite suspected occur at area colored with yellow to purple, with susceptibility values range at 21 to 50 nanotesla. And the distribution area is located from east to west area. With that, mining activity that may happen in the future in the area can be done following the suspected direction in consideration of human settlement around the area, and in-depth exploration and survey are advised in order to determine the exact total resource available at the research location. And because of that, the research can be further done, and while we already make it more narrow, because of we already know the distribution from east to west area, then every mining activity can be done, and it can be done with avoiding disturbance from the nearby human settlement. Thank you for listening, and I'm sorry if there are any mistakes and error. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Timbul Bersky, for the insightful presentation. Is there any question for the work or presentation? Okay, I think there is no question, Mr. Timbul. Thank you for the presentation. We can move to the next presenter. I would like to invite Mr. Yusrain for the title Design and Testing of One-Phase Semi-Control Rectifier Circuit Experiment Scale, a part of Green Laboratory Project. Okay, please present your work.
Thank you. I will share my presentation PowerPoint. Okay, Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, and good afternoon, everyone. I will thank you very much for the opportunity to present our research with entitled Design and Testing of One-Phase Semi-Controlled Rectifier Circuit Experiment Scale, part of Green Laboratory Project. The member of research is me, Yusran, and Andi Dashat Armanda from Department of Electrical Engineering, Universitas Hasanuddin. About Green Laboratory Project, why we call this project as Green Laboratory Project? Because we think how to utilize the material in laboratory for supporting activity like experiment and research. And this Green Laboratory Project has impact. One, the first is reducing cost, sure. The second is reducing waste and direct supporting our parallel experiment and research. And it's one part of our capstone design in our campus. Power electronic circuit is applied to power conversion from AC to DC or DC to AC, both in large or small scale. In large scale, application of power electronic equipment can be found at electrical power transmission or distribution, and also at electrical motors control in industry. For small scale, this circuit can be found at electronic equipment chargers, UPS, laboratory equipment, etc. This research discussed about design and testing of one-phase semi-controlled full-wave rectifier circuit using diodes and thyristor or SCR. Specifically, the testing aim was to observe output waveforms and output of voltage and current values for different types and load values. This circuit was produced on laboratory scale and for laboratory and experiment needs. Circuit design and construction. The circuit design was consisted of three main components: diode, thyristor, resistive load, and inductive load. This is material and tools as shown table 1. Diode, thyristor, resistor, capacitor, board, resistive load, inductive load, lead, varied solution, cable, DC power supply, voltage regulator, oscilloscope, PCB drill, solder, multimeter. This is single line diagram of the circuit. You look, the diagram consists of 2 diodes and 2 thyristor. This circuit is called full wave waveforms, full wave rectifiers, because there are 2 diodes and 2 of thyristors. This is physical circuit of rectifier. After construct in PCB, circuit testing, we have 2 stages. The first is design, conceptual design, and the second stage is implementation in circuit testing. In this stage, the testing is carried out using R and RL loads with varying values. The input voltage was set at 30 volt. The intersection angle or the trigger angle was set on 60 degrees. The oscilloscope parameter sets at 5V and 2 meter second per div. We use 3 types of R load: 220 ohms, 680 ohms, and 1.5 kilo ohms. And the last, we also use L loop, and the value is 2.37 Henry. This load arranged in series with the L load. Okay. This is the theoretical calculation. Yeah, how to find the voltage DC in average, how to calculate voltage DC and in RMS value, and how to calculate the current for the load. This calculation will be compared with the testing result, to look how different about the theoretical calculation with the testing in real circuit. The theoretical calculation can be shown as table 2 and table 3. We found the values of voltage in DC RMS and voltage and current in DC RMS for the 3 loop. For table 3, like with the table 2, but the R load series with L load, and we can look the values of voltage in DC RMS and current in DC RMS. Okay. Circuit testing. At this stage, the testing is carried out using L and RL loads with varying values. The input voltage, like the theoretical calculation. We also use 3 types of R load. This is the result from testing with R load. Yes. This is the waveforms voltage, output from rectifier. Yeah, you look that with SGR, triggered with 60 degrees. Yes, the voltage will intercept, like the figure in the oscilloscope. This is the result from testing with RL load. Yeah. This is the waveforms from circuit with loading with RL load. This is comparison. Yeah. Comparison between theoretical and testing result. From this table, we know that any difference between theoretical and testing result. We found the difference between theoretical and testing was average 1.085. Yes. And for this is this table for voltage comparison. For current comparison for R load, we have difference average 4.590%. Okay. For current comparison results for RL load, we have average difference about 6.457%. This is output comparison graphic. You can look that like in our presentation PowerPoint. The load output voltage, load R output current, comparison between theoretical and testing result. This is for load output current, comparison between theory and testing. Conclusion: one phase semi-controlled full wave rectifier circuit using diodes and thyristors (SCRs) were successfully designed and tested in this research. The voltage output for R and RL load was 27.2 volt. It was differed by 1.085% average with the theoretical calculation result. The current output for R load is differed by 4.59% average with the theoretical result. For RL load, the current output was differed by 6.5 4.57% average with the theoretical result. The circuit testing result indicated that the rectifier still needs further refinement, to overcome its deficiencies. Thank you very much. That's all our presentation.
Okay, thank you, Mr. Rizwan, for your presentation. Is there any question to the usual research or presentation? Okay, Mr. Rizwan, I think there's no question. Thank you again for your presentation.
Thank you very much. Thank you very
Okay.
much.
You're welcome. We move to the last presenter for the authors Weliandi and M. Yonggi Puriza with title Comparative Study of Electrical Energy Conversion on Monocrystalline and Polycrystalline Solar Panel Types in Fixed Position with Various Weather Conditions in Mountain Areas. Okay, Mr. Weli, please present your work.
Okay, thank you, Ms. Nurhadini. I will show my presentation. Excuse me. Okay. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. The title is our research about comparative study of electrical energy conversion on monocrystalline and polycrystalline solar panel types in fixed position with various weather conditions in mountain areas. We collaborate with author me and Muhammad Yonggi Puriza and Kiki Jumaida. I and Muhammad Yonggi Puriza from Universitas Bangka Belitung and Kiki Jumaida from Universitas Syah Kuala. In the abstract, we compare two solar panel in order to conclude which type of solar panel is the most effective in producing electrical energy. The area used is plateau areas with a mountain's contour and has low humidity and temperature. Data is collected for 3 days. The solar panels used have a capacity 200 watt peak each. As a data longer, Arduino and several supporting components are used. Polycrystalline solar panel produce a greater voltage than monocrystalline type from the first day to the third day in the mountain areas. The current produced by the two solar panels tends to be the same. The average total energy produced by polycrystalline solar panel is 665.46 watts, and monocrystalline solar panel is 500.62 watts. It can be concluded that in mountains area it is more efficient to use polycrystalline type of solar panel. Introduction, facts and problem. There are two types of solar panel that are widely used, namely polycrystalline and monocrystalline. The difference between these two solar panels can be seen in the shape of the cell arrangement. The function is these two panels are same. The market price of monocrystalline solar panel is more expensive than polycrystalline types. It is caused by the manufacturing process of the two different solar panel. The polycrystalline solar panel has a random arrangement of panels and is fabricated by casting process. Meanwhile, the monocrystalline solar panel are done manually. And then we test two solar panel in mountains area to conclude the solar panel type with the more excellent electrical energy conversion. The sampling of the mountains area is due to lower temperature and humidity condition than low-lying areas. There are 4 sampling location was Bukit Tinggi. Bukit Tinggi city has a height of about 780 until 950 meters above sea levels. Its solar panel in this study has a capacity of 200 watt peak. With a comparative study, it is expected that the use of the solar panel in mountain area can be selected by best type of the 2 existing types. This is method. We use 2 solar panels, type polycrystalline and type monocrystalline, and will monitoring data logging with Arduino Uno R3, R3, and we use a lot the same capacity. In order to be more accurate, the total energy data obtained by each solar panel, the data collection time was carried out every 15 minutes. The data was collected in the form of voltage current, and temperature on the both solar panel. We get the data in the temperature in the same time and the same day. The limitation of equipment in recapitulating the total energy obtained from solar panel provide an alternative to manual energy calculation based on unit of the time. This is the figure 1, the block diagram of the data retrieval of electrical energy conversion of polycrystalline monocrystalline solar panel. In this block diagram, we use just one data logging. Result and discussion. Data collection was carried out from 16 until 18 February 2019 with different weather condition. There were the data obtained, voltage, current, and power data. In this line, voltage in the green line, voltage or stream polycrystalline in the red line is voltage or stream monocrystalline, and the temperature in the blue line. This is the figure 2 about the curve indicator. Okay, result and discussion in the day 1 in the first day. In figure 3 and 4 are the result of the data collection on the first day, where the voltage was obtained polycrystalline solar panel were higher than monocrystalline solar panel. However, the current obtained tends to be the same and stable. The total energy obtained by the polycrystalline type solar panel was 718.0 watts, and the monocrystalline type was 453.9 watts. There are largest different about the monocrystalline and polycrystalline. In the second day, we have seen in figure 5 and 6 the weather condition on the second day often change, and sometimes the sunlight was covered by clouds, so that the resulting voltaic data is unstable. However, the voltaic curve for polycrystalline solar panel was still higher than monocrystalline solar panel. Meanwhile, the current generated tends to be stable and almost same between the two solar panels. The temperature on the curve tends to be unstable, and the highest temperature was around at 14 1 minute Western and Indonesian time. The total energy obtained by the polycrystalline type solar panel 651.5 watts, and the monocrystalline type was 505.8 watts. In the third day, we have seen in figure 7 and figure 8 the similar of the second day. On the third day, the weather data collection also changed frequently, so that the voltage of and stable. It can solar panel, polycrystalline solar panel. Sorry. Hello.
Okay, I think you're. Okay, I think there is our last presenter. If you have any question for the last presentation. And parallel session. Oh, Mr. Williandi, you coming back again? Okay, I think Mr. Williandi, there is no question for your presentation today. And this is the end of parallel session.
Okay, I will present thing again. I will. Hello.
Yeah, hello. Are you?
I will presenting again.
No, no, no. I don't think so.
Oh, okay. 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 That finish.
Yeah, I think it's finished and there is no question
Uh,
for work or your presentation.
okay. Okay. Thank you. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you, Miss Nur Hadin.
Okay. Okay. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. This is the end of this parallel session. On the behalf of committee, we would like to show our gratitude for your active participation for this conference. We do hope that this event give us fruitful insight for development of the future science. To kindly remind you, presenters and participants are expected to join for tomorrow schedule at 10:45 on the closing ceremony of ICoGEE. Okay, 10:45. There will be announcement for the best presenter of every parallel class. Thank you for today, and we do apologize for inconvenience during this parallel session. See you tomorrow on the second day of ICoGEE. Good afternoon and have a nice day. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Okay, thank you everyone.
Thank you, Miss.
Thank you, ma'am.
Okay,
Very much, ma'am.
thank you.